So, one of the parts of this chapter that really resonated with me was the emotional security aspect of a classroom. I have a second grader myself, and I feel like I know firsthand that when she has a bad day or she doesn't feel safe in her classroom in the sense of an emotional security, it really inhibits her learning. If she's fighting with her friends or she feels like she's being bullied, she comes home and I usually get a note from the teacher that, today wasn't her best day, or I notice a reflection of it in her work. Because especially as children, it's really hard to focus on doing a good job in school if you're feeling like your friends don't like you, or you're not getting along with your teacher, or you're not able to freely speak your mind, or maybe you're not being respected because of your skin color or your religious affiliation. So I think this is a really important backbone for ensuring that we have safe and positive classrooms. This is a picture of my daughter. She doesn't normally look like that, but I love this picture. I always keep it on my fridge, and I thought it was perfect. They were making faces for the Grouchy Ladybug, which is an Eric Carle book, and I thought it was so funny. So this will be about emotions and fostering a positive emotional environment in the classroom. So some of the things what we want to strive for as educators are warmth towards our students, effective listening, and respecting all backgrounds. Some of these are pretty straightforward. Of course, we want to make sure that we're respecting our students, especially in diverse situations, or if we're around people or students that we haven't normally been in urban settings, if we're not used to that, we need to always respect our students. And this goes with being a model teacher and modeling good behavior for your students. If they see you respecting people regardless of their appearance, of their religion, of their skin color, if they're disabled, that's going to have a domino effect in your classroom. You're going to show your students that this is how we behave, this is how we treat others. Effective listening, of course, kids want to be heard. It's going to be overwhelming at times, I'm sure, as a teacher, to make sure that we listen effectively to all of our students, especially when they're trying to get your attention all at once. But some of these students don't have somebody at home that cares for them, and they don't have somebody that they can go to and feel like they're safe with what they can say. And so being that person in their life is super important. And then warmth. You don't want to come across cold. You want to be inviting, and like somebody that they can come to and know that they can, find refuge in. Some of the other things that we want to encourage in the classroom is rule following. This is for safety of students in general, but if kids know what to expect and what's expected of them, they're likely to feel a lot more secure. If it's kind of an environment where they're not sure how they can behave or what's expected of them, that can lead to kids not getting along, not listening, and it will eventually lead to you feeling burnt out and stressed, and feeling like you might be snappy at the students. You also want to have a good sense of humor. I feel like this is really crucial in classrooms because it's hard. Even though that it might seem like what you're teaching is fun, it's a lot for kids to sit in a classroom all day and learn. So encouraging humor kind of breaks up the day a little bit. It puts you on their level, so they feel like, you get them. They like to laugh. You like to laugh. We also want to encourage safety to express feelings. This is super important because we need to let kids know that they have a safe outlet in expressing themselves if they're feeling like, okay, that person just hurt my feelings, or I don't agree with what you just said. Can we talk about it? I think that bottling up emotions isn't a healthy way to resolve things. If kids kind of talk it out and work it out, it kind of gives them really good problem solving skills and people skills for the future. As teachers, we also want to provide for success. So we want to make sure that we're encouraging successful situations and not just telling our students, we're not setting them up to fail. This will help them with their emotional security and knowing that it's okay if they don't do well, but we want them to try their best, and we provide the means for them to try their best. Finally, as far as emotional security in the classroom, some of the things we want to avoid as adults and as teachers are stress, put downs, burnout, and yelling. Obviously, we don't want to bring our stress of life into the classroom. As adults, we handle a lot heavier things most of the time. There are definitely going to be some kids that have difficulties in their lives and are exposed to things we might not be exposed to. But we need to not bring our own stress into the classroom. And we also need to not let our students see if we're getting stressed. The stress can lead to other things here, such as burnout and yelling. We want to make sure we have an even, calm tone with our students. We're not snapping at them. And burnout isn't going to be good for them. We can't come to work feeling like we're not ready for our lessons, we're sick of our job, and we're not going to put in the effort that they need. It's going to impact their learning. And put downs by you, but also students in the classroom. You don't want to be putting down anybody, but you also don't want to encourage your students to be putting down anybody. That's really big in my daughter's school right now, is giving up put downs. They have a song that they sing, and the teachers, staff, students really focus on not allowing put downs. Because once a kid feels like they're being bullied or they're being put down by somebody else, it encourages that same sort of behavior. They might inhibit that behavior or exhibit that behavior towards others. And it creates a really kind of awful environment for kids to be in. We should teach them to avoid those put downs, stick up for each other, and letting them know that it's not okay to be making fun of others, name calling, pointing fingers, that sort of behavior. So if we can avoid these things and sort of foster those other good things, we can definitely help to provide safe emotional environments for our students.